Hello, welcome to Dylan's Dive Bar. I am your host, Randy Glover, aka Elaine Dillon, and we are here with a very special guest. We are here with Miss Stephanie Henderson. She is the owner of Girl Focus on You and the Self Focus Care. Did I say that right?
The self-care focus.
Self care focus. Okay, and that's where we are tonight. We are in the self care focus. I'm going to say lounge because that's how it feels. It feels like a lounge. It's very homey here. I love it here.
That's the vibe I was going for.
Yes, we love it when we hit a goal. So tonight we are talking about personal priority number one. So I know you've heard of public enemy number one. Now we're talking personal priority number one. We're talking about self-love and self-care. And that was one of your events where you did talk about the difference between self-love and self-care.
Yes.
So why don't we start there? What is the difference between self-love and self-care?
Self-love is the overall umbrella. Like self-love is you taking the Pandora's box, unpacking it, and pulling out those things that you need to love yourself unconditionally, wholly. Self-care is the practice under self-love. So self-care is going to therapy. It is, going to get a facial or massage. Self-care is maybe having that conversation with someone that you need. That's the practice. But self-love is the overall umbrella of taking that time to learn to love yourself unconditionally.
Ooh. And see, a lot of people think that those terms are interchangeable.
Right.
So they'll say, oh, it's self-love or it's self-care. It's different.
Mm-hmm.
So self-love is how you feel about yourself. Self-care is how you take care of yourself because of how you feel about yourself.
Exactly.
Haha.
Exactly.
So we are relearning that because as kids we were told put others before ourselves.
Yes.
If you think about yourself, you're selfish. And now as adults, we're walking around empty and broken, and we really need to just change our whole way of thinking when it comes to that. I always say self-love is not selfish, and there's nothing wrong with loving yourself. And I was reading in your bio where you were saying that you have trying to help people understand that putting yourself first is a necessity, especially if you're trying to help others. Let's talk more about your pouring into your own cup first.
I am a huge advocate, first of all, for putting yourself first. Because like you said, it is not selfish. Because if you don't put your own needs and wants first, you cannot take care of your family. You can't take care of your children. If you're a caretaker, you can't take care of the people that you're taking care of.
Right.
You can't work properly to your fullest potential if you're not taking care of you first. So when you are doing that, when you are pouring into you, I like to call it a joy cup. When you're pouring into your joy cup, what you're doing in essence is you're taking those things that bring you joy, that make you happy, that make you feel 100% at your best.
Yeah.
So that you can in turn take a little bit of that cup and pour it out so that you can continue to give to others.
Yes.
That's why it's important to put yourself first. Not for selfish reasons or anything like that, but so you can continue to give to others.
I love that. I always laugh when I'm on the plane and they're like, when the mask comes down, put it on you before others. And you'll always hear the parents, they're like, no, I'm gonna put it on my child first. And one of the flight attendants actually explained, he was like, you put it on yourself first because if you pass out for lack of oxygen, you can't help anybody. And I think because no one ever explained that, everybody's kind of like, that's crazy. I'm going to save my babies first.
Save the babies.
But if you pass out, you can't save the babies. So it's kind of the same thing. You got to put your own mask on first so you can help someone else. And I think that is something we really have to unlearn.
Yep.
Especially as women. We are actually nurturers by nature. And we are always, oh, are you okay? Are you this? I mean, how many times have you seen it like growing up in church, it's buffet or, the freshness at the end of the service. And all the moms are up there with 3 plates in their hand. Okay, he want chicken and he want a sandwich and he would, what's your plate?
What you go in? And it's always, oh, I'll get something later. I just want to make sure they're good.
And that all the time, as a server, they used to always tell us, feed the kids first. Take care of the kids first, and then the adults get taken care of. So the adults already have the kids ordered. So I can come over and say, hi, he's going to have a Coke and a grilled cheese sandwich with fries. And it's like, okay, well, I'll put that in now. And then we get the kids settled, and then it's like, well, you're like, I haven't even had a chance to look at the menu. It's like, you got to eat too.
Always taking care of everybody else. And it's so hard to do that because, like I said, we are nurturers. So by instinct, we want to make sure that everybody else is good because it does make us feel good when everybody else, is happy. and enjoying themselves. So that does make us feel good. But like we were talking about earlier, we're going, and people say you need to rest. It's like, what is that? What is rest?
Rest. What rest? So I'm gonna sit here for like 5 minutes, and it's like, no, you lay down. And my dad gets on me all the time. He said, the Bible says He maketh me lie down in green pastures. He said, don't you make the Lord make you lay down. And I'm like, you right, because I ain't got time to be sick. And we always say that I don't have time to be sick. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time. We have to learn to take time for ourselves. So in that, because this is the Dylan's Dive Bar, we don't do anything without cocktails, y'all. So the Dive Bar, if this is your first time tuning in, is about conversations, community, and cocktails. Yes. So we're having conversations that inspire change, growth, provoke critical thinking. We do a lot of topics where we want you to really, assess, how you're doing things, your way of living. So maybe you can change some things, improve, your quality of life, being a better version of yourself. So that's the conversations that we're having, which is why you're here today.
And I love your podcast. I really do. I love listening to it. I love the conversation because it really does. It's like aha moments. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize I was doing that. Well, I didn't think about that. Mm-hmm. So I love it.
I love it. It's also about communities. We want to support one another. We want to encourage one another. So I always hope that people will start conversations on the post and things like that, because we want to be able to help each other achieve whatever it is we're trying to achieve. So having that community, but of course cocktails, because what would a bar be without cocktails? So tonight we're making a Malibu Sunrise.
Yes.
In honor of our guest. Okay, so Steph and I actually met because I coordinated her wedding. Yes. And this is one of the drinks we made at your wedding. I remember this.
My specialty.
Yes. Yep. This way, his and hers cocktails. This was hers.
Stephanie Sunrise.
Yes. I love it. So tonight she's gonna make her own sunrise. So we have a little ice here. We're gonna pour that into our glasses. And these are like rocks glasses, so they're like the short cocktail glasses. I like the little one. All right. And now we have our Malibu coconut rum. So for those of you who don't know, Malibu rum is not a very strong rum. So it's more of a flavor, you get the strong coconut flavor, but it's not very high alcohol content. So if you are what I like to call a lightweight, this is one of your friends. Now they do make other flavors. They have like strawberry, mango, peach, and I've actually had the strawberry. It's actually really good. I've had strawberry. I've had super pineapple. Ooh. Now I've had the mango. Have you ever had the mango? No. You should try it. You can put however much or little that you would like in there. Now, this is a play off of the Tequila Sunrise, for those of you who don't know. And with the Tequila Sunrise, it is tequila, orange juice, and grenadine. So we're going to add a little more tropical flavor. We're going to have orange and pineapple juice. So we'll each, you can open the orange and add yours, and then I'll add pineapple, and then we'll switch. So I'm going to add a little pineapple juice. We'll switch right here. And I'm going to have a little orange juice. All right, and then the next thing we'll have is our grenadine. I have a little light. Let me add a little bit more juice. Brandy is a heavyweight, so the grenadine is what provides the sunrise part. So for those of you who don't know, grenadine is pomegranate and cherry juice, and you just put that right there on the side, and it sinks down. And so now I have this pretty little ombre here. So I have the red on the bottom. And then you have your ombre and sunrise. Yes. Nice. So these are our Malibu sunrises. So cheers to self-love and self-care. Yes. That is good. Yes. Oh, it reminds me of my wedding day. A beautiful day. And you know what was funny? Like that day, almost everybody was late because it was a really, really bad accident. And I was like, oh, Lord, that was my first wedding coordinated by myself. Really? And I was like, Chantel's gonna kill me if we don't start on time. And thankfully, even though everybody was late, everybody got there, got ready. Like the DJ, he was like, I'm running late, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's okay, be safe. And I'm thinking in my head,
getting there because we were trying to get there, early so we can like get dressed and just have a time. Right. But the traffic, we got there late, but everything worked out the way it was
So he
supposed
actually did start on time.
When I say you started on time, y'all, when you started at 4, yes, 4:01, the music was like going. She was like, all right, let's go. I was like, it was no like 4:05, no
Yes.
4:10, no 4:30, no 4:01. They was walking down the aisle. I was like, oh, okay, I guess it's time to go.
I was like, Chantel is gonna kill me. And I was like, I'm not gonna tell her. I'm not gonna tell her till after the wedding. And I'll be like, it went great.
It did.
But it did. It was a beautiful day.
Thank you.
It was a beautiful day. And I was looking on your page and I saw the pictures. I was like, oh, it's not really that was a year ago.
No, it'll be almost 2 years in April.
I love it.
Yeah,
I
almost 2 years. Yeah.
Now, your meeting Tony.
Yes.
Talk to us about that because that kind of really talks to the self-love, self-care journey that you were on. So talk to us about that. How we met Mr. Henderson.
So I met Tony through Facebook dating. So a lot of people don't know that Facebook has a dating site, and it pops up, excuse me, randomly. So I seen it, and at the time I was, online dating, and I would say that I wasn't necessarily like on it to be like, I'm gonna find my husband, I'm gonna find this person. Excuse me. It was more so I was learning who I wanted to date. I was learning what Stephanie liked because, we always have a type,
Right.
and excuse me. Look,
That's good.
So we always have a type.
Right.
So I have never had luck with my type. So while I was online, I was like, just dating, like if they interest me, let's talk.
Okay.
Maybe I'll learn something about myself. Maybe I'll learn something about somebody else that I did not give myself a chance to learn about somebody else. I was always focused on a certain type.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time I got to Facebook dating, though, I was like, yo, this it is wild out here.
It is.
I'm about to log out and just take a break and just continue on this all about me journey.
Right.
So I think I was on it for about 30, it wasn't even 30 days. And I was getting hit with all types of like mess. And I was like, yeah, no, this ain't gonna work. So I just happened to see him and I was getting ready to delete my account. And God was like, spin the block, just go back.
One more go around.
So I was like, okay. So I'm looking, I'm like, nope. So I started on his picture, and I'm just like, and he looked like he's about to waste my time. See what he talks about. His pictures were just so nice. He was smiling. I'm just like, yeah, he looked like he's gonna waste my time. And his bio was like nicely worded. All words were spelled correctly, punctuation.
And we become English professors.
Yeah.
People like, he messed my comma.
Okay.
And I'm done.
Instead of you instead of Y-O-U.
Right. Don't you do no abbreviations. No, we are adults.
We are adults.
We are
You
adults.
just spell and use your words. So I made complete sentences, everything. So I was like,
Too good to be true.
I was like, but the curiosity in me was like, because at the time I was like, I'm gonna write a book of all these crazy dates I went on. He was gonna be a chapter in this book. So I was like, let me just see what he's talking about.
She set him up.
Let me just see what he's talking about. So sent him a message. He sent a message. Hello, how are you? I'm like, hello, not A, not hi. Hello.
What up? What do you do? None of that.
Not WYD, none of that. So I'm like, I'm great. How are you? So we just started having a conversation, and I'm just like, this is interesting. Like, so I'm like, okay, let me keep going. So after about 2 days of us just chatting, I said, this is a woman.
First he gonna waste her time, and now this chick, the lies.
The conversations is too good. Men don't like express themselves like this. They don't talk in complete sentences. They respond. I mean, they don't respond back. So I'm like, yeah, it's a woman. So I was like, let's exchange numbers because I need to hear your voice. So he like, okay, sure. So we exchanged numbers. And so I couldn't wait to talk to him. I was like, I couldn't wait to dial the number. So as soon as I heard their tone voice, he was like, hello.
Well, now. And to turn on your see.
And then even then, kind of usually, like when people are online talking, chatting, it's easy to have a conversation because it's like, they can't see you, they can't hear you, whatever.
Right.
But it just seemed like the conversations we had in the chats just continued on the phone.
Right.
So we laughing, sharing stories, and like Randy, I tell you, it really felt like I had reconnected with my best friend.
Oh wow.
Like we hadn't seen each other in years, and we finally reconnected and was just sharing stories. Like he was sharing stories from his past. I was opening up, like in that first week, I was opening up and telling him stuff I had never told anybody.
Mm.
And at the time, I was just thinking, like, well, I really don't have nothing to lose because, like, I would just block and delete him if I don't like him no more. So, hey, it is what it is.
Right.
So, and he later told me he felt the same way. Like, he had nothing to lose. Like, I can tell her everything. And if she runs, then I know she's not for me.
Right.
And if she stays, then we'll see where we're going. And I felt the same way. So, after about like a week and a half, we decided to do our first date.
Oh, wow.
So the first date, now I know the Cheesecake Factory thing is going on.
Whatever.
All these women talk about they don't want to go here and here, there on the first date. Like, look, take me to Starbucks. Like, we could sit and chat like we do it because I need to see you. Like, a first date to me is just basically you getting to know the person, you talking to them, looking at their body language, seeing if there's an attraction.
Right.
It ain't about what you spend because I'm not concerned about that. So I suggested, I said, well, we can meet at Starbucks. And he was like, well, I don't really drink coffee. And I was like, well, they have tea, different things, Starbucks kind of sort of like different things. So he was like, no, I'm going to plan something. I'm like, oh, you get 50 points for that. Okay.
He said, I'm a plan something.
I'm going to plan something.
Fellas, we love to hear that. Okay?
I'm like,
take charge.
I'm
Make
like,
plans.
okay, go right ahead. So he got back to me like about a day or so later and said he wanted to take me to have dinner and then a comedy show. I'm like, oh, he did I'm like, well, I hope you don't think I'm putting out on the first date because I ain't that type of chick. So
it ain't a date.
It ain't a date.
Okay, they want it dance.
So I was like, let me just make that clear since, so he was like, no, I just like to have a good time. And, I've been wanting to check out this place. They do comedy. So I'm like, okay. So day comes. He was an hour late.
Tony.
An hour late.
You just got 50 points for playing in the date.
So I used to try to get on, not going this, I used to try to get there early so I could see, watch the crowd, see him come in, whatever. And so I'm sitting there, I'm people watching. So, but the thing is, like, he had been calling me and letting me know that he's in traffic. I'm getting off here, I'm doing this. So he was keeping me up to date.
Okay.
So it wasn't like he just wasn't showing up. I didn't know whatever he was calling me. And that's when he called, we would sit and talk. So it wasn't like I felt alone.
Right.
And typically after about 10, 15 minutes, I'm out.
2 to the left.
I'm texting, we'll reschedule.
Right.
But something was like, just wait. Just wait. You'll be fine. Just wait. So I waited. And then as the time went on, I was like, we're going to do this comedy show. Let's just meet at the comedy place. So he was like, great. I'm so sorry. He was so apologetic. I'm like, oh, this is so sweet.
She probably still can get when he's
I was like, okay, something, he gonna scare me, something gonna jump off, like he next thing he gonna be like, hey, I need like $5,000 because my uncle's in Africa need. I was like,
this is a lifetime movie. Exactly. I'm gonna end up with the little white at the end. It's
I have my pepper spray in my purse. I was like, look, y'all ain't about to get me.
You gonna earn this one.
Y'all ain't about to get me. So I pull up to the place. He had already got there because he was like closer to it than I was. So he was doing what I was doing at the Mexican restaurant. Like he was pulled in watching to see when I come in. So I pulled in, I'm blasting my music, jamming, And so these girls was they was like parked next to where I wanted to pull in. And the girls, they was just like, taking pictures. And I'm like, excuse me, I'm trying to park. Like, I'm gonna get out the car and fight. They wanted to fight. So I'm being all ghetto with the girls. So I pull in, and then so I text him. I was like, "Hey, I'm here." He was like, "I'm here too. I'm parked." I'm like, "Okay." So now I'm thinking, now I get to see if he matches his profile picture. So I'm pulling up the pictures, like, let me just make sure.
This is what we're going for.
That's what I'm looking for.
This is what we're looking
Because
for.
I've been catfished before. So I'm like, let me see. Okay. So I gets out the car and I see him walking up. Girl. And he walked up, he had a little swag and he was tall because guys be like, oh, I'm 6 foot, I'm 6'5". They meet you, they 5'5". So
Right.
like,
I'm already short. You cannot.
Yeah.
We out of
yeah.
problems.
You ain't 6 feet, bro.
Problems. I'm short for women. So you can't be mine.
Like, yeah, no, it ain't gonna work.
You can't.
So he's walking up with swag and he's smiling, and I just started grinning, the girl like a kid in a candy store. I was like, hey. Look, if I can get up and show you, I start skipping. I can't stop. To that. First,
He's a woman.
and now So, hey, it felt like I was coming to see my best friend. I was so excited to see him. Like I wasn't nervous, like nothing, like typically when you first meet somebody nervous,
Right.
you're like, I don't know what to expect. But I had none of that. I was just happy to see my friend. So I took his arm and I was like, how you doing? So we, gave each other the little,
The church.
And I was like, how you doing? He was like, I'm okay. I was like, you nervous? He was like, a little. I was like, we're gonna be all right. Come on.
Not the child was telling the
No.
Oh, we are all right.
Usually the shy was sitting in the
Yes.
but I'm telling him to come on. But we had the best day. We had the best day. We laughed, and it was just like, even in the restaurant, it was just like continuous conversation of, what we're looking for, our expectations,
Right.
and things that we dealt with in the past. I mean, in a 2-week time span, it felt like we had talked for like 6 months because we had so many detailed conversations about our families, how we grew up, our past relationships, what harmed us, what we learned from that. And it was just like, it was amazing. And I think what helped in that is that self-love journey, because I was able to not look at past relationships and play blame and make it seem like it was that person's fault or whatever. I took a lot of ownership of the things that I dealt with in relationships because I stood for it. I could have walked away. I could have had, valued myself more, but I chose to stay in those relationships. Wow. And you could look at it and say, like, well, those men knew better. They wrong for doing that. But as women, we can't make a man take ownership or accountability for what they do. We can only take accountability for what we do and how we react. And once I got to that point, it was no more blame. I know what I'm not going to do going forward. I know what I'm not going to allow. I know what I'm looking for. And especially also what led to that is just going on those dates and just not without expectation. Okay. Just going on dates, just having a good time. We go to a restaurant someplace I've never been. Oh, this is new. Let me check out the menu. I always have money though, because I'm like, just in case these, the side, hey, I'm going Dutch. I got my own money, bro. Right. So, and just like having, just those conversations, like giving the guy permission to be who they are, not trying to fit them in the box. And well, this is what I'm looking for. I need you to do X, Y, Z. I need you to be you, because I need to see if that's something that I'm interested in. And I think that truly helped us in our relationship and how we just, in such a short amount of time, we became so close so quickly. Like we met March 14th, 2021. Come on. And on May 30th, 2021, we were engaged. So It did not take long. And when they say a man knows, like a month into it, he had bought me a promise ring. Now, who buys somebody a promise ring
Okay.
this day and age?
30 days later, you know what? This for you. Oh, wow.
And I'm like, and me, I'm like, okay, whoa, I'm liking this, but you moving too fast. Like, I watch too many 48 hours, ID channel, Lifetime. Look, you ain't about to have me wrapped up in the back of the trunk. So I'm like,
Got to stop scaring the hell out of myself. He looked just like that killer.
you know, you know what they did that on that movie? Did that on that movie?
Look at them shifty eyes. You gotta stop scaring us.
It's true. But I was like, I kept praying about it because, like, I kept asking God to, like, way back years ago when, dealing with heartbreak, I asked God to remove that desire for love, to remove that desire to be with someone, to remove that desire to be in a relationship with someone because I couldn't find it. I was so ready to love that I was overlooking all the red signs that most people weren't loving me in return. So I asked God to remove that, and I was praying for that. So, in praying for that, my promise to him was, I'll love myself. If you remove that for me to pour out this love to someone who doesn't deserve it, I will pour that back into myself. So that became my focus in loving myself. And when he came and he, gave me that promise ring and was like, I'm ready to commit. You ready? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know where it's going. I don't trust it.
Oh my
But then I had to pray about it because I'm like, okay, God, I did ask you to remove it. And you did say you'll send it when I'm ready. Am I ready? Like, so I kept, but I didn't sabotage anything because I'm quick to do that too. When something feels too good to be true because of old habits, I'll sabotage it because I've felt in the past that I'm not worthy.
Oh, girl.
This good thing, and
Yes.
as women we do this too. This good thing, I'm not worthy of it. I don't deserve it because I didn't do anything to deserve it. So I kept saying, don't sabotage this. Just see where it goes. Just see where it goes. And he's just always been consistent. Like, we've been together now since March 14, 2021. We have not stopped talking. I can set my clock to him. Like, he's very consistent with what he says, what he does. If he says he's going to do something, he does it.
Yeah.
And I see how he is with his family. I see how he is with his friends. And it's like, God, you did me a good one. Woo! He did me a good one.
Well, he answered the prayer.
What man was
He answered the prayer.
Because I'm like, I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
I was enjoying myself. I was enjoying learning to love myself. And I guess God said, now you're ready. But I will say this though, that journey has not ended. Because even though he granted me my prayer and my blessing, I'm still learning that I still have stuff that I need to unpack. It's like an onion. When you start that self-love journey, it's like you continuously peeling the onion. You think you're done, but it's another layer. And even being with him and the way he loves me, it's like I still am like, sure, like, okay, like, if I do this, you're gonna be all right. And you're like, I don't care, but it's in your head because you think because of past things that because I did that, that person decided not to love me. But I know that wasn't love. Right? Love is unconditional. So it's still a journey, but
Girl, so we have so many things to unpack from this statement. Okay. Let's start with accountability.
yes,
I think so often when a relationship ends, even a friendship, business relationship, romantic relationship, it is always what the other person did.
Yep.
It is always, let's say romantic relationship. If somebody cheats, it doesn't matter what happened up until that moment. Once they cheat, then that is the sole reason. And now we're off the hook. We don't have to, really examine our actions. We don't have to examine, what we said or anything like that because they cheated. So it's like,
they're wrong.
Right. And I think accountability is a huge part of self-love because now you're starting to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And I had to do that with a past relationship. And, it was so funny because so many people who were there along for the ride, no, man, he did it. And I'm like, yeah, but I had to understand that my actions crippled him as a man because I was always taking charge.
Ooh.
I'm like, you know, he needed to find a job, so I'm like talking to people, and I'm like, this person's hiring, this person's hiring. I'm taking you to the interview, and it got to the point where he didn't have to be a man and stand on his own 2 feet because I was doing everything. And in my head, I was being supportive, but really I was being emasculated. And I had to understand that you can support someone without thinking and acting for them, you know, and I had to learn that because I'm like, I'm a control freak, and I am. All right, I'm down to about time. I don't like surprises. I can't control surprises. I don't like surprises. So I'm like, I'm a control freak, and I'm always like, this is how it has to be done. I'll be quick to be like, that don't make no damn sense. And I'm like, I have to learn to be kind, even when I'm frustrated.
Right.
And my communication can be a little harsh at times. So it's like, I really had to look at those things because it's like the next time when I'm in a relationship, we're not going to be, it's not going to be smooth sailing 24/7.
Right.
You know, we have to understand that those, you know, we're going to have disagreements. We're not going to see eye to eye all the time, but it's like you have to take accountability in order to prevent yourself from making the same mistake in the next relationship. And there's so many people who don't do that because they can't even afford to be honest with themselves.
Right. They can't look at themselves in the mirror and be like, you know what, that was my fault.
Right.
And then, you know, with the cheating thing, like, yes, he made a mistake. He, not even a mistake, because it was a choice.
Right.
But like you said, if that happens, we as women, we do say, okay, he cheated. But nobody takes the time to say, okay, was I not giving something that he needed? That question is never asked.
Never.
Now, most of the time, they say, I don't know,
I was doing my thing.
yeah. Were you really? Were you? Because most of the time, and I don't know, like I said, I don't know, but I talk to different men. You know, some women say they cheat because, like, the ass was there, you know, it was just there. Or it becomes like, you know, she was talking to me and, you know, one thing led to another. And it's that talking that matters. Like sometimes we think that we're supporting them, but are we really supporting and listening to them, giving them what they need? Or are we just talking at them? So we're not hearing them. Right. So I think with the cheating, I mean, that's a tough thing because I've been cheated on and I've forgiven and, you know, have tried to work, you know, through it, and then it, you know, just went elsewhere. Not saying that it's happened in my marriage now, but in the past.
Right.
And it's like that's a hard thing because like the first thing is women think like we look at ourselves like we failed, like we didn't do something right. And but you gotta have those tough conversations, you know, to even ask the, you know, why did you cheat? You know, and sometimes I'm like, I don't know. But then you got to go back and look at the relationship. Like, is the relationship really well? Right. You know, on the surface, y'all taking pictures, y'all on Instagram, and y'all like couple goals. But is something really going on in a relationship that there is a hole there that could cause him or you to cheat?
Right. And I always think about, okay, the movie Sex and the City, the first one. Miranda's husband cheats. And he goes, we haven't had sex in like 6 months. And she's like, that doesn't, you know, she's like, there's no excuse. Right. But if you look at everything that happened before the part where he cheated, she spent all this time with her friends and she spent all this time at work. She constantly found time to spend with her girls. Like when Carrie was packing up her apartment, she was like, after it took 4 friends 3 days, you spent 3 days packing up her apartment. So she gonna move in with her man and your man at home.
Asking for some time.
And it's like we have to figure those things out. Like, you know, did I make my partner a priority?
Yes.
And a lot of times we don't want to be honest about stuff like that. And I think journeys of self-love and self-care can help us really. I mean, it's a very loving way to hold yourself accountable.
Yes.
You know, but you got to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
You have to be honest with yourself, but go on the journey so you can say, okay, like that was my thing. I had to be honest and be like, there are times where I am very unkind. My words can be very harsh, and I don't want to be like, I'm a mean person. I'm like, no, it's not that I'm a mean person. But when I get frustrated,
you're straightforward.
I'm very straightforward. But like, I had to really say, okay, did I have to say it that way? Should I have waited until I wasn't angry to speak to him? And it's like, yes, he was frustrated the hell out of me, but at the same time, like, and he asked me one day, why are you talking to me like that? And in my head, I'm like, you deserve it. But deserves to be spoken to like that. Like, and I had to really, like, it took a minute for me to really Yeah, I did. And I was like, cause you are like you asking me to talk to you like this because you tripping. But I have to be honest and be like, but if it was the other way around, what you talking to me? Like, it would be so I was like, I have to, really take a step back and really be honest with myself and be like, okay, so that's something I need to work on. I need to work on being kind even when I'm frustrated, and that was a part of my healing journey.
Yeah.
Getting out of a relationship. I was single on purpose for like 2 years. And it was just like, no, because it was a lot that happened leading to the breakup, after the breakup. And I was like, I'm not going to take all of this into another relationship. That's just me.
Yeah, you got to unpack that and deal with it and sit in those feelings sometimes. Yeah. And a lot of people don't want to do that when they go through heartbreak or anything traumatic. They don't want to sit in those feelings, but you have to in order to go through it, to get through it. Yeah. And it's like there's a saying that says you have to go through to get through. So you can't go around it because it's still going to be there. Even if you go around it, it's still going to be there following you. So you have to go through it in order to dissipate it so that you can move forward.
And that's huge. Part of self-love and self-care is healing.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't want to take the time because we don't want to grieve.
Yes.
On any level, in any way. And we, you hear that word, people are like, they shy away from it. But you do have to grieve the endings of things because that's how you get through it. You get to the beginning of something else. And I think that's something that people definitely need to really look at. If you say I've been in the same relationship with 3 different men, that's because you've been the same person.
Yeah.
And each of that in that relationship, you have not done any healing, you haven't done any growing, you haven't done any changing, you haven't done any of those things because you won't do the self-examination.
Yep.
And we don't want to do that at all. Like that's that.
Nobody wants to look at themselves in the mirror and just be like, I'm a mess.
Because I don't want to admit we're a mess. Because it's like if I'm a mess, I'm gonna have to stay a mess. No. It's like that's the first step. But you got to admit it. Yeah,
that's just like the mirror exercise that I had you guys do at the event last year. I had them look in a mirror for 2 minutes, and 2 minutes is a long time.
Showless.
It go by quickly any other time, but when you're looking at yourself in the mirror and just to see yourself, not look at like, how your makeup is, not look at your hair, but to really look in your eyes and see yourself. Like it's powerful because you start to when you look at yourself in your eyes, they say it's the window to the soul. You start to see what's hurting you. You start to see what you're holding on to. You start to see what you hidden, and that's hard. So I've seen a lot of people like shut the mirror, right away. Some people kept looking and started crying, but it is a powerful exercise that you have to go through. And I had to do a piece of it, but what I also have people do is after the exercise, I have them start writing, like whatever, because it brings up a lot of emotions, a lot of thoughts. So you have to do something with those thoughts. So I have people write those thoughts down and just to get it out of their system.
And that was a hard one. I'm not even gonna lie. And it was one of those things where it's like I didn't want to be a wimp and not look. So I was kind of like, I'm gonna keep looking, and I was fighting tears, but I was like, I don't want to do this. Oh, this is so uncomfortable. But that made me think about how sometimes we keep ourselves busy to avoid that feeling right there. And we have got to stop doing that because to care and love yourself, you gonna have to take the time to really look at yourself.
Yeah.
And we get so busy and we go through life and we swear that we're living our best life.
Yeah. I'm balling.
Yes. And we have it in our minds and it's all a mess.
Yep.
It is such a mess. Yep. And it's not until you really take that time to say, okay, I'm gonna look and I'm gonna look. Like I really had to force myself. When you were like, look in the mirror, I was like, why is she doing this? We supposed to be having mimosas and this good brunch that was sitting over here, and she got me over here emotional. I was so mad at you. I was like, I don't like this. But it was such a healthy exercise.
Yeah.
Such a healthy exercise. So we're gonna take a quick break and we will be right back. We are talking with Miss Stephanie Henderson about self-love and self-care. We're gonna talk a little bit more about that when we come back. So stay tuned. Dylan's Diary Bar. We'll be right back.
When it's time to celebrate a milestone, do it in style. Posh Event Center can design a party to turn 40, 50, 60, and beyond with a theme or other unique event decor.
Keep going.
Oh, okay. It's been recorded. Okay.
She said another song, well, so we just gonna take a little break. We are here at Dylan's Dive Bar, and we are here with Miss Stephanie Henderson. We are talking about self-love and self-care. So what you just saw were our lineup for the I Am World Media Group. So we have shows for everybody. We have I Am World Podcast, which is it started off being about a man's point of view, and then they added Lady Code, so she kind of speaks in for the women every once in a while, trying to put us in there, try to get our opinion on in there. And then we have Breaking Barriers podcast. We have the Underground Sports King. We have the Core Queen. She does being physically fit and getting all your stuff together that way. And then, of course, we have Dylan's Dive Bar. We have All Things Undone. Granny, she is. I'm so sorry I forgot about her. She's talking about life after divorce. And I actually was on there. We talked about the messiness of healing, which was a very interesting conversation. So, oh man, it was a good one. And then we have She Talking Tea, which is Lady Co's own show. So we have a little bit of something for everybody. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube, and you can listen to us on Black with No Chaser Radio, and you can find Dylan's Dive Bar on Spotify. So we are all over the place. You can watch us, you can listen to us. We got you covered. So we are here in the self-care focus. Is that right?
That's correct.
Self-care focus. This is the event space that you now have. And talk to us a little bit about your event space.
So the self-care focus is a space that I have dreamt about and wanted for a very long time. I've always wanted my own space to be able to what's the word I'm looking for, to house the energy that I want to bring to the women that I speak to, the workshops that I do and facilitate. I want that energy of peace, of love, and support. So when I'm renting out, when I was renting out different spaces to do that, I would always look for that vibe and that ambience. So, my husband's like, why don't you try getting your own space? So that way you don't have to go from here, there, everywhere. So when I found this space, when I saw it, when I walked in, I was like, this is it, because it just had that energy. Yeah. And I knew I wanted to make it feel like home. I wanted to be comfortable. I wanted to feel like someone's living room. Like you come in, you sit down, potpourri, you just sit on the couch and you just unleash. You just let your hair down and you just talk and unleash. So that's what the self-care focus is.
It does that. The moment you walk in, that's the vibe. Like I feel like I am in someone's home. I mean, there are just so many nice touches, homey touches, and the decor, the feeling. I love earth tones, so the neutrals, and I think it helps to make us feel grounded.
Yes.
And I love it, y'all. Y'all gotta come check it out.
Yes, please come check it out.
What's your next event coming up?
My next event coming up is we're on a hiatus for the holiday, for Thanksgiving. So the next event that's coming up here is the Grow and Glow Gathering. It is on December 3rd, and that's our monthly meetup where everyone comes to connect, to vibe, to share, to fellowship, and it's a sisterhood. It's the community of Girl Focus on You, which is I'm the founder of, which is our community. It's where the women come together, and that's the name that I so lovingly given them, because they're women focusing on themselves. So we meet once a month. the beginning of the month, every first Sunday, to kind of get us ready for the month ahead, to talk about the things that we dealt with, we're dealing with, and to get advice. Because sometimes we may have a situation that we're going through that we don't know someone else may have gone through it or is going through, and we need someone to kind of keep us lifted. So that's what that meeting is for. And it's free, so it's for everybody. So come on, I'll have snacks and, drinks available.
Yes.
So come on and enjoy us. And then on December 2nd, I have a soulful yoga that's going on. So that's the Saturday before. So that's going on. The studio is converted into a yoga studio. And so that happens on December 2nd. So those are the two events we have coming up.
I love it. And you can rent out the space. You can find it on the website. And it's a beautiful space, and it's good for intimate gatherings. And I think sometimes when we want to do something, some places are just so big, and you're just like, I'm nervous. I'm not going to fill it up. I'm not going to. But this is for your intimate gatherings.
Yep.
And I think that's we need a place for those.
Yep. And it's it can hold up to 40 people depending on how you want to use it. We can move the furniture around. We can set tables up if you want to have, like, I've had people book for like intimate dinners. So it just depends on how you want to utilize the space. But it is like an intimate, closed space so that you can feel that hominess and that comfort.
I love it. And it's so pretty.
Thank you.
So you definitely should come check it out. So
Yes,
December
come check
2nd, December 2nd and December 3rd.
Yeah, December 2nd is the Soulful Yoga. You can come in, and that is from 10 to 11. And then on Sunday, the Glow Gathering is from 2 to 4 p.m.
I love it. All right, so we were talking about self-love and self-care. So we were talking about how self-love is the umbrella.
Yes.
Self-care are the practices that you do to show yourself self-love. Let's talk about some of the things you do as self-care. What are some of the things that Stephanie does to take care of Stephanie?
I write a lot. I have a lot of thoughts that go through my head, a lot of emotion at any given time, a lot of thoughts. And the best way for me to get that out is to write. Because otherwise, I'm like a squirrel chasing shiny balls. I can get squirrel. Oh, look at that. Yes. So I write a lot, and especially when I'm feeling overwhelmed or I do have anxiety. I was diagnosed with anxiety in 2016. And just a quick story about that. I was diagnosed in 2016 because I was doing all the things, like you said earlier. I was running from healing. And I had multiple businesses going, and I was here, there, everywhere, networking, running this business, doing everything. And, I had a slight panic attack. And so I was diagnosed with anxiety. I'm like, I ain't got time for that. I have things to do. So it's in 2017, it spiraled. It got to the point where I was like stuck in bed. Like I could not move. I was afraid to move. I was afraid to see people. I had things to do. I had business to run, but I was physically unable to move, like I was paralyzed. And so I had a major panic attack. And that's when I had to choose my health or the businesses. And I had to let things go. And I had to choose me. And that is when I decided, like, okay, I need to put me first because I'm catering and helping everybody else, and I'm just going down this hill like quickly. So because of that, one of the things when I went to therapy, one of the things that she taught me was when I'm having these overwhelming thoughts, just to write it out. It doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense, like just get it all out, get it out of your head. So I've adopted that. So whenever I'm feeling like, okay, I'm overwhelmed, a lot going on, let me just write. I have journals everywhere.
Yes. Yes.
So that's one of the main things that I do. Another thing that I like to do is I like to get outside in the sun. So moving down to Atlanta, I'm from Buffalo, New York, and we're 8 months out of the year. It's cold, gloomy. So moving down here was the best thing I could have did for myself. Because of the sun. And it's hot and it's warm, and it's like I don't mind being in the sun, except when it gets too hot. I'm going back in the house.
July, August, all of that. It's like nope.
It's like no.
Air conditioning. We inside. We inside.
Right.
Hey,
But I enjoy being outside, being around the earth, and sometimes like I'll be barefoot in the grass because like it's the grounding, like the textures. That brings me joy. I also like arts and crafts.
Yes.
Like I love doing things that like coloring, like painting. I do just all types of like little things. I go to art shows, and I'm not a like a art professional,
Right.
but I do like to go to art shows and look at the textures, and I know a little bit of something.
I know something.
I know a little bit of something.
I don't understand enough.
A little bit of something. But I do things like that pour into my joy cup. And those are things that I discovered just being by myself. Like just taking that time to say, you know what, I've never done this before, but let me try it.
Yeah.
Like when I moved down here, I'd never been hiking before. So I'm like, I don't like bugs and I don't want to be outside. Mosquitoes, mosquitoes love me. Like I go outside, they like, Stephanie. So, but my nephew was like, let's go hiking. So I'm like, let's do it.
Why
And
not?
I loved it. I loved being outside. I loved it. And it was something I never thought I'd like. I love nature, but I love being in it. So I just try to find things that I never have done before to try it and see if that's something that I'll like and enjoy, and I'll add that to my joy cup.
I love it. This joy cup is just such a great term.
Yes.
Because I mean, and I keep imagining a cup, like a real actual cup.
Yes.
So do you have an actual cup that you consider your joy cup, or is it?
I do have so many teacups, but I do have, it's like a jar, and it's like a mason jar. And what I do is, it doesn't have joy on it or anything, but it says create the life you imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And all the things that I've done that I've enjoyed, I write it down and I put it in there. So when I'm feeling kind of down, like I don't have anything to do, or like I'll pull something out and be like, you know what, let me try this again. Oh, let me go to the movie. Oh, let me try this restaurant, because we do so many things we forget.
Mm-hmm.
So that is my joy cup.
Okay, so y'all, that's gonna be part of our Strive to Thrive exercise, creating a joy cup. And I think a lot of times people ask, what do you like to do for fun? My biggest thing is sleep, because that's what I don't do enough of. I don't get enough rest, but there are other things that I do like to do, and I think we need to take time to do those things that we, it's not always just going on vacation and then doing those things. We need to incorporate that into everyday life.
Yeah, the stuff, and it's always the little things that you don't realize that you enjoy until you're in that little thing you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Like toes in the sand. Like that is just like the most joyous thing to me, going to the beach and your toes in the sand. Yeah. It just makes you feel all giddy inside. But you don't realize those things until you do.
Right. I think it was one Saturday. I felt like I want to cook. And I haven't cooked in a while. I was like, I don't cook enough, because you get home from work, you're like, I'm cooking. I'm tired. I'm gonna let somebody else cook. Just will order in, and it was like that Saturday. I spent the whole day, like I picked the long stuff. Like I picked collard greens that had to take a minute, and I was like ribs, but it was being in the kitchen, creating something. Like I made my own sauce, all that stuff. So it was like that moment. It was like sitting down. You eat your food it took all day to make it, but your food is gone. But that moment, just sitting there enjoying what I created, and then it was like, I haven't done this in a while. I need to do more of it. So we have to find ways of creating. So that's part of your self-care. Those things you enjoy, doing those more often.
Yep. And make it time to do them.
Yes.
Not always saying, I don't have time. We do have time.
Yeah.
If you think about it, we have the time. Like we can spend an hour watching TV. We can spend 2 hours kikiing on the phone. That's time that you could have used for yourself to do something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
And, and I hate to say it, we could spend time helping somebody else do whatever they're doing, helping somebody move or whatever, when we could have been taking that time to do something else for ourselves, especially when we are drained and we don't have it to give.
Yes.
And somebody calls and say, hey, can you help me? And we like,
and we find it some kind of way to give it away.
We'll find that energy, and even though we just said, I'm so tired, I just want to lay down, and somebody call, can you help? Yep, okay. Mm-hmm. We'll find that time. But when it comes to us,
I don't have time to do that. And I used to tell myself, I would say I need to go get my nails done. I ain't got time to get my nails. Yes, you do.
Yep.
Yes, you do. I don't have time. Yes, you do. Go do those things. And I want us to talk about how with self-care, the word no
Ooh.
Using the word no. We get so just, I don't want to say no because they may really need me and I may regret that I said no. We need to learn that saying no is a part of self-care because you can't, if you say yes all the time, eventually the only person you're going to end up saying no to is yourself.
Yep.
We have got to learn that saying no is a part of self-care.
It is, and it's a complete sentence too. And you don't need a reason.
Hello.
You don't need to give a why. Just no.
And you want to know how I think we do that? You remember how when we were in school, do you like this, yes or no? If no, why not?
Oh yeah.
We have been conditioned. Like, I'm telling you, it's screwed us up as kids. It's screwed us up. They screwed us up. They were like, if you say no, well, then why not? So now when we say no, we have to give a reason. Now we feel like if I say no, comma,
right,
because, and then we feel like we have to explain ourselves. We have to go into detail, and we have to get them to say, "Yep," because your teacher was grading it. So your teacher would be like, "Well, no, they didn't do that." Because so now we feel like we have to say no, comma, because instead of just saying no.
Yeah.
Because if we said yes, then they never said yes. If yes, why? It was always if no, why not? We gotta just recondition, unlearn.
That behavior. No is a complete sentence. And if you want to be bold, absolutely.
Okay. Hell no. Okay. That is a whole why? Because I said so. And as a kid, we didn't like how our parents said that.
Yeah.
As an adult, I am learning to. Well, why? Because I said so.
Because I don't want to.
That part. I don't want to.
I don't want
You want to go hang out?
No.
Why? Because I don't. Because I don't. Do you want to hang out? No. Why? Because I don't. That's it. And we get so conditioned to explaining ourselves because we don't want to disappoint other people, and we need to be concerned about disappointing ourselves. We have got to be more concerned about ourselves because we do give so much of ourselves away. There's one of my favorite movies is Tyler Perry's The Family That Prays.
Oh yeah, I love that movie too.
I love that movie. And at the end, Alfred Woodard's character, she said, I have spent my entire life giving it away. I think I'm gonna keep the last part for myself. And she, had all these excuses. Her friend was saying, when are you gonna start living? She said, are you living or are you existing?
Yes.
And she was like, after my girls are grown, and after, I gotta help my grandbaby. And I gotta, she just felt like, yes, it was always something she had to do before doing something for herself. And unfortunately, it took losing her friend for her to realize that she should do something for me.
She needs to live.
And it's your life.
Yep.
You should enjoy it at some point.
And you have to. And then, she spent her entire life taking care of the kids, making sure they was good. They, in turn, wasn't making sure she was good. They was adding on to her stress.
Yes.
Some no good kids. That's why we take them kids.
He's talking about best friend. She said, kids. And I think it's hilarious. There was this video. This lady, in her white doctor coat and everything, and she was like, "You can't say that about kids." And this lady came on there, man, them kids. She said, "You think you're in the dark coat, we gonna listen to you? Look, them kids called straight, right?" And you could just feel in waves coming off of her that you get tired of putting everybody before yourself. And we have to learn that there's nothing wrong with putting, and I go through that a lot as a single woman with no kids. People will assume, they'll be like, "What you doing?" Nothing. "Oh, you want to do this?" Whoa. When I said nothing, I wasn't looking for a to-do list. I was saying nothing because right now, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Do I have something to do?
Good.
All the time. Yeah. I always got something to do.
Right.
I'm not doing anything right now. And we keep trying to assign ourselves things because it's like, I don't want to waste time. I don't want to let the day go and be unproductive. And sometimes seeking to be productive, you end up running yourself into the ground.
Yeah.
And
burning yourself out.
And then you're not productive. If you're burnt out and now you're sitting around and your body is like, we can't move.
We tired. Look, and that sickness will sit you down. Like the anxiety attack, I was in the bed, I could not, literally could not move. Right. It will sit you down. So yeah, we got to take the time when our body says rest.
Right. And I was laughing at my dad because I was like, I got home and I'm one of those persons. I'm an advocate of sitting in the car. when you get home before you go into the house. I do. I saw so much that I fell asleep in the car. And he was like, fool, that's the sign. He was like, you tired. And he was like, you have got this. And I was like, no. I was like, don't judge me. But he's not. He's like, you know, right. You. Yeah. And my dad, me and my siblings, we all have this work ethic. And it's a beautiful thing to have a work ethic. But at the same time, it's like we have got to learn. Take a breath. Take a moment. Take a day. You know, and I always laugh and people be like, I'm taking a self-care day. What? I'm like, y'all end up unemployed. Or you will be all these self-care days. But that is how they stay employed because now they get rejuvenated.
Now they come back,
yes,
productive, doing better, feeling better.
Yeah. And we feel so obligated to jobs. Who will replace us?
In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Their budget will get cut or something will happen and they'll come to you after they done worked you to death and be like, hey, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to let you go. In a heartbeat.
And they don't give a 2-week notice.
Don't give you here, pack this stuff. You can stay to the end of the day if you want to. We'll pay you out. But don't give a 2-week notice or nothing.
But want you to give a 2-week notice. You see the inconsiderate nature. So it's like you and I always say, like, I gotta be more like those people.
Yeah.
I gotta say, you know what? Today,
take your time.
I'm gonna do it for me.
Yep. Take your time. And don't save it for just vacations. You know, don't save it where I'm saving my time for vacation. No, take a day for you. If it's like, for example, I think The Color Purple is coming out in December. Take a day off. Go see The Color Purple.
Right.
You know, and that's just an example. But take a day off to go get your hair done or do something for you. It's your day.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, they will cancel you in a minute. They will fire you in a minute and not think nothing of nothing. Now that job gonna be there when you get back.
Hello. And it's so funny because it's like we work ourselves so much and then we like, oh, I'm going on vacation. I'm gonna do all these things. All we do is sleep in the hotel.
Get there as soon as lay in the bed, you be like, wanna go here?
Well, and see, me and Courtney is so funny because she's one of those people like, we on vacation, let's go do stuff. And I be like, I'm vacating my life. I'm busy all the time, so I'm ready by staying in the bed. I'm in the house. Let's watch these damn movies.
Let's watch these movies. Right. This big old comfy bed with these nice fluffy pillows.
Okay, well, we went on vacation. It was funny because her son and his best friend, his mom took him for his birthday to Florida. So some of the adults went, and, you know, they were like, we going here. And out of my head, I kept thinking, oh. And I was like, no, go, because, you know, that's why we came on a trip. But in my head, I'm like, I really want to just lay down. And we were in a nice house. I'm like, I'm going downstairs and watch a good TV while y'all go try to get up and John. And then it's the quiet. Yes. Oh, and I was like, it's the simple things. I said, let me go because I did say I was coming on the trip. And, you know, they finna go somewhere on the trip. But I really had to be like, okay, I'm gonna go somewhere. But I did. I just wanted to just relax. I'm like, I don't do that enough. I don't relax. And sometimes I literally will take a day off and be feeling guilty. I should be doing something. No, I should be doing something. And my dad laughs at me all the time. He's like, girl,
no, take that day.
Yeah.
I want you to do something. I want you to promise me that at least I was about to say once a week, but I'm looking at you. You ain't gonna do once a week. At least
she knows me so well.
At least once a month, take one day where you do absolutely nothing. Just start one day a month. You can pick the day, but one day a month where you do absolutely nothing. No plans, no nothing. No calls. No, I gotta, do this on the laptop. Nothing. One day.
But I'm already thinking, if I plan everything and meet everybody this day, that I'm bad, y'all. I'm bad, y'all. You know what? I will make it that promise. I will one day a month.
One day. That's it.
Is it starting next month or this month? I just need to know more time. But
well, I'm gonna give you this month because we already at Thanksgiving. I mean, this month flew by. But starting next month.
All right.
One month. One day. That's it. But you do absolutely nothing. Okay. But the only thing you can do on that day is something for you. Okay. Now whether that is not other people, but go get your nails done, go get a facial, watch TV, binge your favorite TV show, just cook your favorite meal, just something for you.
Okay. That's what I want you to do one day. And I'm gonna do it, y'all. I'm gonna do it. Okay. I feel like I've been challenged. Yep. Yes, I love it. All right, so we're gonna take one more break. And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about self-care and self-love with Mrs. Stephanie Henderson. And we'll talk more about your intimate space here, this beautiful space that we're in. So guys, we'll be right back with Dylan's Sidebar, talking about personal priority number one.
Canvas.
Avengers! Assemble.
Canvas. When it's time to celebrate a milestone, do it in style. Posh Event Center can design a party to turn 40, 50, 60, and beyond with a theme or other unique event decor.
Sharing who I am and the space and just what I'm trying to do. And because I'm such an introvert. And I really have to get out. Like I really enjoyed the event.
Yeah.
This past weekend, like I enjoyed that. Like talking to people and, talking to Jessica and it kind of brought me out of my shell to reach out.
I was just commenting about this past weekend. We did Cocktails and Connections, and that was All That Jazz's first ever sponsored event. We are an entertainment company, and we started off with bartending. That's been our bread and butter. So have this actually last year we added catering, and so we started doing parties for other people, and then this year that was our first step into event planning. So I wanted us to host events. Eventually, we're going to be a one-stop shop where we're just adding things on every year. So Cocktails and Connections was our first venture into event planning, and it was a beautiful experience. I was so nervous, but excited.
You didn't seem like it.
And everyone says that, and I'm like, if y'all can see on the inside, that movie, I can't remember the movie, but it's like inside his mind, all his little emotions are like talking to each other. That's me. So on the outside, it's like, she looks kind of cool. On the inside, it's like,
I know the feeling.
So it was, but I was so excited, especially when you and Jessica connected. So Jessica was one of our other vendors, and when she said, "I just need a place where I can hold events," and I was like, "Oh, this is Stephanie. She has an event space." Yes, and seeing y'all talk, and seeing you connect, and it was just like, this is what I wanted. I wanted you guys to connect. I wanted you guys to really get out there and talk to each other. And I think all of us were patronizing each other. I got beads from her. And I know one of my staff members, he was at your table. He was like, "Oh, you want something to wrap?" He was like, "I can't buy gifts for my family."
He was buying everything. So
I was like, "Let me mind my business. Let him go ahead and do his thing." But it was just a wonderful experience having everyone there in that space.
Right.
And I just wanted us to all just network and just come together and create another community, because small businesses need support.
We do. And it's so hard. I mean, because you can't do it by yourself.
Right.
Like, even though the business is yours, it's your vision, it's your idea, but you need others to take along with you on the journey. You need to help. You need people to support you when you're falling low. You need them to lift you up. And we need that community. And I was so happy to be there and talk to people. Like I said, meeting Jessica and meeting everybody there. Like that was amazing.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it.
I loved it. And I knew that for you, that was like a huge thing, because she tells you all the time she's an introvert. She's so shy. And it's so funny because talking to you, I don't get that vibe. But we've always just been having conversations.
When I'm one-on-one like I am talkative, I'm open. But in a large setting, you will see me in the corner. You will see me in the cut. I'm observing, and I will talk to the people that are around me. But you won't see me work in a room. Like I see people at events, and they're talking to everybody, and they're talking, and you will never see me doing that. Never. I will be in the corner, and see somebody on this side, we gonna talk, and
Right.
somebody in the front, and then if I may shuffle along, but outside of that. But I need to get out of that because being in business, like I need to be more open and expressing and sharing and talking to myself, talking to other people. But then that goes back into the confidence, because confidence is a part of self-love too.
Yes.
When you lack the confidence to share who you are, to share about yourself, to share about your business. Like I watch people and I admire people who are so confident that they can just talk
Right.
and just share what they do and who they are. Oh, I just started this yesterday, but da da da. And I'm like, dang, that's a year ago. But it's like it goes into that self-love. So it's like you have to unpack that. Why am I so uncomfortable talking about myself and sharing about myself?
Yeah.
So it's a continuous journey. It's a continuous journey.
And I didn't realize like different aspects of my journey. So okay, so a little bit about your girl. When I was in the 4th grade, this boy that I thought was super, super cute, he told his friend that I was not cute. And it broke my spirit. It did. And then when I got to about like 6th, 7th grade, I got told that again, that I wasn't cute. And so it kind of stuck with me. And it wasn't until I met my best friend, Courtney. Y'all know where his lady go. And if you've seen Courtney, Courtney's gorgeous. And so we were talking one day. I think I was in college. And I was telling her, I was like, my friend likes this guy, but I think he likes me. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I can't. Like, this is. And she was like, friend, you're beautiful.
Yeah.
And a part of me was like, girl, you should talk to the right person. And I wanted to argue with her. No, I'm not. And she was like, friend, you're gorgeous. Of course he wants to talk to you. And she has been such a cheerleader for me and me discovering for myself. Because up until that moment that boy said that, I never thought about that I wasn't until he said that. And I don't know why it stuck with me. Because I've never seen that boy again since 4th grade. But that kind of, stuck with me. And then I felt like I had passed it. Had boyfriends and all this stuff. I'm like, I'm good. 2020, 23 years ago, 2020 comes along, and I'm taking all these little courses because we can't go nowhere.
Right.
So my meetings I might as well go,
Right.
go something. So I'm taking this course, and it was about business. And she said, for your page, your face needs to be your profile picture. Ooh. And what I tell you is, I was like, nope, I have a logo. And I was like, my logo is cute. So, all that jazz, And she was like, people buy you. They buy into who you are, who you present. And she was like, you should be on your page. You should be talking. And I'm saying, like, no.
Dang, how this works?
No. It's the business page. Right. It should be business. You need the service. You don't need me. And and it took a minute. And so I forced myself to put a picture up there. When I tell y'all, I went through picture after picture after picture after picture. And then all these little things that will pop up in people's stories, and they will have all these pictures of themselves, and they'll be like, share your picture. I would have to go through my phone to really find a picture, because I'm like, I would not take pictures of myself.
Girl, why do you want my head?
Girl, and I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, I'm 37 years old, and I'm still dealing with something that I told I was not. And I'm like, this is crazy that I'm still even affected, because when she was talking, I was about in tears while she was saying it. Like, she's doing the class and she's like, you have to put you out there. And, it's not that they're rejecting you, they're rejecting the business, but then they're buying you, not the service. And I'm like, that don't make no sense. Like that, no.
I don't want to do it.
Right. And I'm like, It took me a minute. And then finally, I put my picture up there, and it bothered me. I had anxiety about it for days. I'm like, maybe I should change it back. I think I should change it. It was a struggle. And that was, again, a part of the self-love journey. Because I'm like, nobody want to see my picture. They want to see drinks.
They want to see drinks. They want to see the logo. They want to see the business. They want to see me.
Right. And what you ain't half the time I'm not even at these events. Like now that I have employees, I don't even meet my clients half the time. And I'm like, they don't need to see me. We fine. And then I think it was my marketing manager, Jalen. He was like, I think it'll be better if you do a video about it.
Because it's true. It's the like, know, and trust. They want this day and age. Look, I'm preaching to you, and I'm very good. But it's the like, know, and trust.
Yes.
Like they want to see who the person is behind the scenes, so they can build a connection and
Right.
be relatable to that person.
And that was a struggle. It still is sometimes, but it was like I was almost like refusing. And like I'll watch other people's pages and see them doing all these videos, and they just seem so comfortable and it's so big. And I'm like, wait, nobody probably told them they weren't cute. That's probably why. And I'm like, all these excuses, anything to keep myself from doing it. But I'm like, then I'll go back to what you just said, being related. I'm like, well, I keep looking at their page because I'm looking at them. Then I'm like, oh, crap.
Yeah. But it's what we were told as young children that stays in our subconscious. So whenever we're put in that situation again, that little thing comes back in our head again, like, oh, you know, I'm not pretty enough, or oh, I'm not. I was always told you're pretty for dark to be dark skinned.
Oh.
So like, okay, well, not. So in my mind, I'm not hearing pretty to be dark skinned. I'm hearing I'm ugly all the way, dark skin and I'm ugly. That's what I'm hearing. So like being on camera is really hard for me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I know when we first, you know, talked and I was telling you about the business, what I was trying to do, and you're like, you got to do reels. And I'm like, girl, I ain't doing reels.
And I remember that you even backed up from the table. You was like, like I'll separate myself.
I do all that. We ain't doing it. We ain't doing it. And then I started doing reels, which is like a picture, and I would have like a voiceover or something like that. I'm like, they'll just hear my voice. But then I started critiquing my voice because I was always told, you sound like a little 5-year-old. You're grown and you got a little 5-year-old voice. So now I'm conscious of my voice. But it's the things that we're taught, the things that we're told that we subconsciously store. We don't store the positive that people tell us. We don't store the you're brilliant at this, or you're intelligent, you know, you're really good. We don't store that. We store all the negative.
Because I know somebody told me you have beautiful skin.
Yes, they have. But I'm always like conscious of like, I'm looking, oh, it's a bump right there. Oh no, forget it. I ain't doing the video.
The smallest thing. The smallest thing, because that hair would not lay down. It's a sign.
I'm not doing it. It's like we store that, but we do have to get past that. And again, it's unpacking. Like I said, the self-love box is Pandora's box. Like it looks all pretty on the outside. We can decorate in our favorite color, little stickers, whatever. But when you open it up,
It's a mess.
it's a mess.
Ooh.
It stinks, but you gotta go through it.
Yeah.
And it's like some of that stuff is down in that box that we have to get through. And it's like, I'm pushing through. I'll be doing little videos here and there, but it'd be like 27 takes. But, you know.
Anyway, I used to start off with a video and I'd be like talking and I mess up. Nope. All right, here we go. Or I get ready to start and I'd be like, how? No. And I'm like, oh, and I keep thinking about that little girl. The little girl who was trying to stay in Houston. It's like, I felt her. I'm like, that's why her video went viral, because we do that. She just said, okay, okay. She's like beating herself up. And I'm like, because I thought like, no. You start recording. Okay, I can just edit this part out. Man, it's up. Dang, man, you got 30 minutes. Oh, okay, go. Why are we like this? Why are we like this? But that girl, when I said her video was so relatable,
I mean, because it's the truth. That's what we do.
it was so good.
And you don't get all the way through the video. Don't get all the way through, and you forget a word, and you be like,
Damn it. And then you go back, you're like, it's good. It's like I video. I would do the voiceovers for the podcast.
oh my
Because
God.
I put videos together and I'll be like, join this part. And then right at the end, instead of saying YouTube, I'll be like, YouTube. And I'm like, I'm not recording it. I'm not recording it. Look, I'm going to cut it off. Play some music. no, and I get all the way to the end and can't get out YouTube. I'm like, son of a
Oh my
no.
gosh, this is hilarious.
I'm like, I'm not doing it. I refuse to record all of this over again.
And
No.
you got down to the very end, you're like, oh man.
Or I listen to the tapes, and like the first tape, I'm like all excited, but like tape 15, I'm like, look, watch the damn show. Oh shit, I ain't got nothing left. I don't have no more. Hey guys, look, I don't have no more reason to watch it. Oh come on, look, you know what the hell to find us. Turn it on. I have nothing left. No more energy. No more nothing.
It's done.
I can just get it done. Just get it done. So it is so funny because we do expect perfection from ourselves, but we give so much grace to other people.
You're like, that's all right.
Look, at least you tried. And then you be looking at yourself.
Right. At least you tried. At least you tried. You 10 steps ahead of everybody else. Girl, cheering somebody else on, but us, we got 50 in our B-roll. Talking about we never posted because they ain't right.
Yeah, so we not gonna put that up? Not a one.
Nope.
Look at my eye. I look crazy as hell. I'm not. You just think you're so. But you got everybody else on here. Hey, you do this.
You did good.
I
It's
like
about
that.
the message. It's about the message. Right?
It's about the
Action.
Cause you just took somebody's spirit and you be over here working yourself to shreds.
Oh my God.
See, self-love, y'all.
Yes.
Self-love.
You got to love yourself.
And you gotta laugh at yourself sometimes. Like sometimes I go back and look at it and be like, ooh, okay.
Like, oh, girl, you dead wrong.
I damn wrong. We gonna just delete this. We don't want no more evidence. No more documentation of this.
You know, just in case it's posted, I'm just gonna hit you.
Right. Because if I post this, but I'm be so pissed. Ooh, that one posted it. Shut your mouth. You don't know nothing.
You don't know no better. You don't know no better.
Go ahead, just delete that. You don't know worry about that. So we have got to give ourselves a lot more grace
Yes.
than we do. And that's why the self-love, self-care journey, making mistakes.
Yeah.
We make mistakes. Life is not perfect. And I tell my bartenders all the time. I'm like, there's no such thing as a perfect shift. You're gonna drop something, you're gonna break something, you're gonna make the wrong joint, you're gonna forget to get this part of the change back. You keep going.
Yep.
And it's so funny that we can apply stuff like that at our jobs, other stuff. And then when it comes to life, it's like, I messed up, it's been ruined, and then we just throw, we just like throw the whole life away. The whole life. This one moment, and you're gonna throw the whole thing away. And we got to stop.
You look at that thing for months and years to come.
Yes.
Like, oh, I want to do that because last time I did this, and that.
Yeah, when was the last time you did it? About 12 years. It was about a decade and a half ago, and I said, you ain't gonna try it again? Like, you're never gonna try it again.
Let me tell you a story. That just reminds me in third grade. Now we're going back to elementary school.
Yeah, we go all the way back.
Yeah, because look, skies run deep, y'all. They run deep.
When you open up the Pandora box,
You go to the Pandora, you be like, dang, when I was 6,
right? Like, damn, 40, we still talking about 10. Okay, well, here we go.
It was in third grade, and my mom had bought me these pretty pink patent leather shoes, and I had on a pretty pink sweater and a jean skirt. So I'm just thinking I'm cute, right?
Yes.
So I'm going up to the lunch line, and I'm thinking this, in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm runway, even though ain't nobody paying no attention to me, but I'm enjoying my little peek out to the lunch line. So we had grilled cheese, and I love grilled cheese. We had grilled cheese in little fruit cups.
It's the fact that you remember that.
I'm gonna tell you why. I remember because it was detrimental.
Yes.
So we had grilled cheese, fruit cup, and I had chocolate milk. And they had, I think it was like mixed vegetables or something like that. So I get my lunch and I'm walking back. Now in my mind, like I said, in my mind, I was, listen, introverts in our mind, we are superstars.
Yeah.
But on the outside, we are wallflowers.
Right.
So I'm walking, and next thing you know, I'm on my back. My grilled cheese is on my face. The fruit was just all over the place, and people was like, now my mind is like, but everybody was laughing. And I would say I did not eat a grilled cheese sandwich probably until like my son was born. And I had my son when I was 30 years old.
What?
The embarrassment I felt, the embarrassment that I felt from everybody laughing at me, and I would not buy patent leather shoes either. That's how deep it runs. The embarrassment. Everybody laughing at me. And even though in my mind I'm thinking I'm walking down the runway, I'm thinking that it all went back to I'm not cute. I'm ugly. I shouldn't have been walking like that because I'm dark skinned. I'm not cute. I shouldn't have been doing that. So all of that came into play. And so every time I saw grilled cheese, I didn't want to go to the lunch line. I wouldn't eat because I don't want to slip and fall and that happen again. So I went grilled cheese day. I ain't eating. I would bring the lunch.
Oh my God! Wow.
That's how, I mean, so when I say that Pandora's box, when you open it up and you have stuff comes back in your subconscious, that memory, and you remember it deeply, man.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so much sitting in that story. Oh my gosh! You wouldn't touch a grilled cheese.
I would not touch a grilled cheese sandwich. I would not touch. I would make them for my kids at home, but I wouldn't eat it because it just reminded me.
It was a trigger.
It was a trigger. It reminded me of that embarrassment.
And it's so crazy because it's like that day in your mind plays like a movie.
Yes.
And you'll have somebody who's probably there and they'll be like, oh,
No.
you
Nobody remembers it. Like I still have friends from way back then who, we were in the same grade, and they have no recollection of that. Like they're like, girl,
and you fail, and you be like, I failed, and all my stuff hit me, and they be like, yo, in the lunchroom.
You remember the grilled cheese on my face? I'll be like, girl, I don't even remember what the lunchroom looked like. I don't even remember who the teacher was. Girl, I remember vividly.
Right.
It's and that goes to show that we hold so much in our subconscious that when we're triggered, we bring it back up, and that stops us from being our true, authentic self.
Wow.
Because now, girl, I be slinging them grilled cheese sandwiches.
Hello.
Girl,
And you walk with purpose and passion and stuff. I see you.
all of that.
Yes.
Patent leather shoes, girl, all of that. But it's like at the time, that was a trigger for me. It was like embarrassing. So that was the emotion, and I didn't know it was embarrassment. I just felt like everybody's not like the movie character. They're all laughing at you.
Right.
That's how I felt.
Wow.
So I didn't want that trigger.
Yeah, that is crazy. And this is why it's so important, not only just to do the journey, but to also do it with someone who can help you,
Yes.
put this stuff where it's supposed to go,
Right.
unpack it,
Yes.
and deal with it. Because a lot of times we unpack it and just be staring at it.
Yeah, like what am I supposed to do with this?
It's like we gotta sort it, we gotta look at it, we gotta figure out, okay, this goes here under the, okay, you were a kid. You didn't know any better then. You were a teenager, that was peer pressure. Like you gotta know where to put it. So it's good to have someone go on the journey with you to help guide you through the journey, because sometimes, you walking around, the blind lead the blind.
Yes.
You need
And it's
someone
like
to
y'all
help
don't look
you.
at each other like that meme. Like people be sending each other memes and reels instead of going to therapy.
Yeah. And it's like, you need someone to help you with this journey.
Yeah.
So wow, that's crazy.
That is like, that is like I think about that and I laugh about it now.
Yeah.
But like I said, up until my son was born, I did not make a grilled cheese sandwich because it just brought back that memory, those memories, and that being embarrassed and everybody laughing at me. And like I said, in my mind, I'm a superstar, modeling my outfit, even though they ain't paying no attention. So it just all played into like they're laughing at me, my outfit was stupid, they're laughing at my outfit. It's like everything just went on. When really it was just kids being a kid. They see somebody fall and they laugh and they went on about their business to lunch. But me, decade later, I'm still like, hey,
You want to grilled cheese? What you got to say? You want what?
I ain't buying no kind of shoes.
And it's so funny because people will say something and you're triggered and you're like, and they're like, wait, whoa, what I say? You're like, never mind, I don't even want to talk about it. It's like, nope, talk about it. So you can get it out. Because
sometimes you see it's not really, it didn't have anything to do with the tangible thing. It was the emotion that was attached to it that we had to unpack. and because we didn't know how to process it. And that's the thing.
We gotta take these journeys, y'all.
Yes,
Gotta take these journeys. Because if we're gonna be the best version of ourselves, then we really have to look at what has gone into who we are now.
Mhm.
And we have to really look at the things that were negative, the things
Yeah.
that were positive, and hold on to the positive more. I think I've had people tell me that I was pretty before, but I always held on. And see, yeah, that was the real reaction, y'all. But like, I've had that happen, but it's always like, especially if I like have like a crush on someone, if they don't return the feelings, I'm like, oh, it's because,
Yeah.
and it's really not. Sometimes it's just they may be like, oh, I mean, I always thought of you as a friend,
Yeah.
and you associated with that negative feeling, and they're not even going anywhere near that. They're not thinking anything about.
It don't have nothing to do with
It don't have nothing to do with it, or they just got out of a relationship. They're like, I ain't ready. I mean, they may be thinking you cute, but they're like, you know what? I ain't ready.
because I don't want to hurt you.
Right. And you're thinking it's because I'm different. It's like, think about that.
Yeah.
And we start thinking for other people. And I was reading this meme like this Aquarius, we are overthinkers. And they were like, you be sitting up mad about a situation that never really happened. It happened in your head. And I was like, I'm doing the time. Because I do it all the time. Like I'll convince myself that somebody thinks I'm ugly, and that's why he didn't like me, or he didn't, call back. And now I'm mad at him, and he was just like, his phone died. He didn't even get the text message.
He fell asleep.
And it's like I've had this whole scenario in my head, and I had talked to him and told him, you know what, you missed out on a good thing. And
You didn't text him a whole message.
like, what? Right. And now he really don't like you. That's why we don't get along. So it's like you have all these things, and that's why we have got to really examine ourselves so we can love ourselves. And that way, even when something doesn't work out, it doesn't take us all the way back to the beginning. Yes. All the way back to when you were 9 and you were 40 and 50 years old.
Yeah.
We got
It's so important. It's so important. And what you said in the beginning of this podcast, and we have to do it now because we're 40 and 50 years old, and we're dealing with all the stuff that we were taught and conditioned as a kid.
Yeah.
Now we have children that we have taught these same things to that we were taught as a kid. Now we're unlearning it, and now we're trying to help our kids unlearn it. And that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Right now, like my daughter, like her and I, we have conversations, because when I had her, I was 20. I was a baby myself. So I'm trying to, be a mom. I'm still trying to, what you're 21. I'm still trying to get into the club for the first time. And it's like my frustrations of trying to be a parent and trying to be a young adult in my 20s, having fun, like all of that was shoved out onto her.
Yeah.
So my parents taught me, do it because I told you so. As soon as you say something, you whack across the mouth, all that stuff, the whoopings and all that stuff, like that was passed on to me. I passed on to her. So now that I'm older and I'm going through this journey, I see that some of the things that I was taught as a kid was not right. It didn't help me. It helped me to become who I am as disciplined, hard worker, work ethic and all that. But I feel like if I was allowed to speak as a child and share my emotions, I would know how to process it. I would have known how to recognize them, when I'm feeling sad, when I'm feeling angry, and how to process them. And I feel like as an adult, I would have had a voice.
Yeah.
I'm learning now to have a voice. But as a child, like, be quiet. You don't need to say that, speak when you spoke to, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So now, I allow, she's an adult now, my son, he's 20. I allow them to share what they have to say to a certain extent. Now, you ain't going to disrespect me.
Right.
but to a certain extent, so that I can hear instead of hearing while I'm hurting, I'm hearing so that I can heal. So that I can be a better mom to you now. Maybe I wasn't the greatest mom to you growing up, but as an adult, I want to be a better mom to you. So as you're telling me these things, I want to hear it so that I can heal that hurt. So it's definitely, when I tell you that the journey is like this,
yes,
it's all over, but it's worth it. It's over.
And this younger generation, now we give them a lot of grief, But one of the things about this younger generation is they are trying to break these generational curses.
Yes.
What happens in this house stays in this house. And they're like, nope, we're going to talk about it. We're going to
Yes.
heal. We're not going to sweep it under the rug. And they're really, looking at those things head on and going at them and breaking those curses, those chains. And,
their kids don't have to grow up and suffer.
All the different terminology they're coming up with, the gender fluidity, this and all this stuff. And it's like, as an older generation, it's like, it's so good to be around them because they really are just like, we finna leave that behind, focus on this. And it's so positive and progressive. And I think it's really good to talk to them because they don't feel the need to hold on to the things that are harmful. They're like, okay, there's some things that we learned growing up. Yes, we'll keep those things. Other things, we getting rid of that.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
And I think that's great because it's a lot of behaviors we do have to unlearn. And even though we loved our childhood to a certain extent, there were some things that I see younger parents when they give their child a chance to talk. And we make fun of gentle parents, but those kids have an ability to express themselves without being disrespectful. And as an adult, they won't be yelling at people because they feel like they've never been heard before. And I think we really have to look at all those behaviors.
They're able to communicate, which as adults, we're learning how to communicate.
And we have to unlearn some stuff in communication. I will say that my parents, especially my dad, he was really good at listening. And so now as an adult, when you get cut off when you're talking, I'll be like, I'm gonna just wait and let you finish because I'm used to a person that listens to me. So it's like, and I want to listen to other people and give people, because sometimes people don't have a chance to be heard.
Right.
And it starts with how you were spoken to as a parent, as a child. If your parents apologize to you and things like that, like that's how you learn to take accountability and show remorse because your parents apologize to you. And I think that those are the things this younger generation is really just like,
Yeah, they're really good at that. Like they will call you and be like, I'm not talking to you because you made me feel and I feel like you owe me an apology. And you'd be like, what are you talking to?
Okay. Because if I said that as a child, it'd be teeth on
the floor. You might even be dead.
Okay. Be like, I feel like you owe me an apology. Okay, so what I was trying to say. Let me reword this.
Right.
But they have no problem expressing their feelings. And I think now we can combine what we learn in how to express yourself respectfully, combined with expressing yourself totally.
Yes.
To come to something in the middle.
Common ground.
Yes, that works where people do get hurt because there's no reason why a person should feel unheard because they're not.
Right.
They shouldn't feel like their opinion and their feelings don't matter because they're 12. They should still feel like they're valid because they are.
They are. And at that age, especially puberty, like they have a lot of emotions. They go through a lot of things. I mean, just imagine when we were that age, like we were having feelings. We didn't know what they were. We liking a boy and we mad, don't know why we mad, like all this stuff going on. And we didn't know how to process it, but we were just told, go lay down, drink some water, go lay down, go take a nap. Yeah, you'll feel better, But these kids now, allowing them to share, I feel sad, or I'm not feeling okay, I don't feel right. Asking those questions, well, how, what do you mean? Like, what are you feeling? Giving them a chance to speak that, we can help them better. So, go lay down, go play with your toys,
I used to tell them, I have a headache. You too young to have a headache. What you having a headache about? You a kid. My head hurt. It hurt. Okay, I have a pain. Like right here, it hurt. Or you put your hand, take your hand off your imagination. It's like, as a child, it's just like you're not allowed to feel anything outside of joy. Because as children, you don't have a care in the world. And it's like, that's so untrue.
That's so untrue.
You have all the cares, and you don't even know what they're doing because you don't even know that's a care. I'm feeling something, and I don't know what it is.
Exactly. Like, I don't know what it is, and I don't know how to feel. So the first thing you do is you go tell your parent who's supposed to take care of you, and they tell you they shun you away. So now you go back outside and like, I don't know why I feel this way.
And then we tell our friends who have the same amount of information we have, none. And then they say, oh, you feeling this. And now you going around thinking you feeling this, really you feeling that.
Right.
Now, who told you this? John. Well, why you because you told me to go take a nap.
And I took a nap and I woke up still feeling the same way.
And John was like, well, here you go. And it made sense to me at the time. So I just kind of went with it. And we have to get to the point. This I'm telling the younger generation.
They got it. They got it. And they're so, when I say they are ambitious and so free spirited, like if something don't feel right, like in the job world, like they're like, yeah, I'm gonna quit this job. I'm not feeling this. I know my work. I'm gonna go someplace else. And we'll find another job in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
But where us, we were taught once you get a job, you stay there, longevity, you get your pension, you get all that stuff. It don't matter if they working you like a slave and you're not getting paid the right amount, you stay there. But these kids, they be like, no, I have this, I have that, and I should be making this, so I quit, and they're going on to the next one.
And don't feel nothing about it.
No type of way.
And like I never forget my dad told me that his dad told his older sister, she used to move around a lot. My mom used to move. And he'd be like, you need to get somewhere stable. People think you're crazy. You can't keep no home. And my dad, he took that to heart. And we've been in our place for years. And he be like, y'all ain't moved yet? No, because my dad heard my grandfather tell my aunt, people think you're nuts. They think you're crazy. You can't stay stable if you can't keep a home. And they say the same thing about can't keep a job. Like, you can't keep no job. And it's like, so people will stay on the job miserable.
Yep.
Not even realizing that people like, it's so much potential in you, and they have killed all of their thoughts about their own potential because they're like, nope, I just gotta stay at this job. And like, people will laugh at me when I say, I don't have no loyalty towards jobs. I have loyalty toward my goals.
Yes.
Now, if the job can help my goals, great.
Yeah.
But if not, and it gets in the way of the goals, I would say two to the left and call it a day, and I'm gone. And you gotta keep a job. No, you gotta keep a job.
Yeah. There you go.
Say it.
I'm gonna find something else. But like I'm quick to like, if the job is like, not conducive to my mental health, yeah, let me find something else right quick. Cause my parents just like, wait, what about your pension? They don't have pension anymore. They have 401k, and it rolls right with me. So wherever I go, it's coming with me. So I'm not staying.
I'm not doing this no more.
No, I will not. I will apply for another job in a heartbeat.
And won't think nothing about it. Like, we're gonna move you up. Where are you?
We'll see you later.
I'm gonna get out of the way. Well, the next person. Christine, come on down. It's your turn.
Have my job.
I'm out. And I have no problem. My Courtney's sister used to call me classy. We were like, wow, she ain't sure for classified. The rank and find a job. You better believe it. Because if this one ain't serving me, I'm gonna find one it is. I'm gonna keep both of them for a minute and be like, okay, we're gonna move this one. You can go. No problem whatsoever. And it's like that non-attachment has been a saving grace at times, because it's like, y'all not gonna kill me.
And people will be at work and people have died at work. I mean, literally, people will go to work and they have died at work and have not lived a day. They just existed in their life. They have not lived because they spent that time working for a job that they did not enjoy and were not appreciated at. And that's sad.
It is.
That is sad existence.
And I hear people when they talk about how they don't like their job and they hate their job. And I'll be saying, like, I don't have those issues. Now, every job has that moment make you roll your eyes, whatever. Yeah. But I'm like, I work in the industry that I'm passionate about. Like, my career is in hospitality. I work at a place that helps that. I'm like, my career just plays out on different stages. This is one of those stages. But if I would not go to a job now that doesn't give into that. Like, I'm not finna go and just, because I need to pay bills. I need to like where I'm going.
Yeah, you need to like what you're doing.
You spend a lot of time at work.
A lot of time, 8 hours a day.
Right. And you don't spend 8 hours, that's a third of your day. You don't spend a third of your day miserable.
Yeah.
No. Make it make sense.
No, it ain't gonna work. I would have left a job that I was like, absolutely, yeah, that job was crazy. Like, they was crazy. They was crazy. They was just piling on work. One person leave, they be like, oh, we can't fill the position, so they had split that work up and give it to everybody else. Somebody else needed to split it to everybody else. Girl, I was a big creation analyst. I was a business analyst. I was a project manager. Like, all these things at once. And then my manager quit. And then they tried to give me her work. Excuse me. No, I dropped the line. I am not a manager. Nope, I'm not doing that. Nope.
But you didn't give me her salary.
No, and that's just it. They won't know. They be like, oh, until we find somebody else. No, you keep that. Girl, I found another job so quick.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, no. And then they're like, oh, we can't believe you're going. I've told y'all several times, I am overwhelmed, overworked, and I can only do so much. And I started pulling back. Like there's 8 hours. I log off at 5 o'clock.
Hello.
Like on my work hours are from 9 to 5. 5 o'clock, laptop closed.
Hello.
I'm not doing anything extra. I told y'all. So don't be shocked. Now I'm giving you my 2-week notice. And a job I'm in now, girl, it's good. I'm like, oh, this is great. This is what I've been missing. Now, if this one start getting a little crazy, I'm going to do the same thing.
Jobs in IT that do the okay.
Yeah.
Search results.
Yeah. Okay. Because like you said, it's no loyalty because they don't have any loyalty for us. So it's no loyalty.
Their loyalty is to their mission statement.
Yeah.
Their vision statement. It's not to the employee.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, and that's why I try to be the boss that's the opposite of that. Because I'm like, I'm sure my employees, they have other bosses and all that stuff. I'm like, I want to be the boss of a short list that remembers that people work for me. And treat them like people.
Like people.
And, you know, like I sent some of them a text, me, hey, seen a couple of events for a while, you know, everything okay. And, you know, because you need to know that somebody's thinking about you,
That you care. You're
that
not
you care.
That you care. That you care about their well-being. And like, yep, the whole like vibe of y'all, like the dynamic, like y'all are so fun. Like y'all are so fun. I was like, oh, that looks so fun. Hopefully one day I'll have like a snack like that and we have fun. But I was like, I loved it.
Yeah.
Like the whole dynamic. So yeah.
That's my goal. Because I mean, even if they don't stay with me, and I tell them all the time, if y'all want to branch out, any way I can help. As long as you do whatever you do with integrity, I will help you.
Right.
And you know, they branch out, they want to do stuff. Hey, go for it. I'll be the first one cheering for you, whatever I can do to help you. And I want to be on the short list of an employer that cares.
Right.
Because so often now you go and you give your all to this job, and they expect you to give your all to this job, and they give you nothing in return.
Nothing.
They give you nothing in return.
They don't get, I mean, little raise here and there, little bonus here and there, little pizza party.
Girl, if you give me one more pizza party instead of a raise,
Girl, and
we're gonna take you to dinner. I can eat on my own. Give me a raise.
Give me a little movie tickets. Here's some, you know, or some concert tickets. I don't want that. I don't want to see.
I don't even listen to him.
I don't know who that is.
Right, I'm not even excited about the take that back. I don't know that.
Some folk band. Who is this?
Because I look like I want to listen to them. If you don't give me some football tickets to shut up. And it's just, well, we have to learn how to draw boundaries.
Yeah.
So before we finish out this self-care, we got to talk about boundaries. We got to talk about setting boundaries. There's this guy, he cracks me up. He was talking about, he said, how come nobody told you that setting boundaries wasn't for the weak? He was like, because I love you, but I love myself. But I really like you, but really you can go to hell. And just, I mean, he just goes back and forth. And I'm like, this is true. Setting boundaries is so hard because you do love that person. You do like that person. You do want that person in your life. But that person is a very unhealthy person to have in your orbit. And if you don't create boundaries, they're going to keep being unhealthy.
Yep.
And they're going to keep, and I remember Kiara Shear, she had said that her mom taught her that, you know, women can't spend the night at her home with her and her husband. And a lot of people are like, you can't be insecure like that. And I'm like, she's setting a boundary. How are you upset that she's setting a boundary?
Right.
That doesn't mean she's insecure. That means she is protected. That's what a boundary does. It
Yeah.
protects. Why would she not protect her marriage? She prayed for this man. God gave her this man. He gave her this marriage. Why would she not protect it?
Right.
And her mom is still happily married. So obviously,
it was a boundary that works.
This is a boundary that works. And it's so funny when people set boundaries, people get angry with them and they try to gaslight her. You know, you're insecure, you should trust people, or you should respect how I want you to behave in my space. We gotta talk about it. Let's talk about boundaries and self-love. Let's talk about the self-care, the boundaries, all that good stuff.
It's so necessary. And like you said, the boundary is to protect you. And if that person does not respect that boundary and does not feel like that boundary needs to protect you, then you got to look at that person and be like, okay, now I'm telling you this bothers me. I'm telling you what you said, what you're doing bothers me. Why are you not concerned that it bothers me? Why are you not willing to be like, okay, friend, if we're really friends, I'm going to stop because it bothers you. Why are you mad? So that's something we have to look at instead of, saying keep our boundaries, but let's start looking at the person to be like, why can't you respect this? Because it's not always us, steady, forcing it and forcing it. I said I don't like that. I said, I want you in my life. I said I don't like that. You got to take a step back and be like, okay, you keep pushing this boundary. So do you really like me? Are you really my friend? So we got to take a look at that, because there are people who will keep pushing, and they're only your friend or only in your life because they can push that boundary, because you're giving them something that they need, and they're taking something that they need from you. But yet, when you ask for what you need, they're refusing to give it. So that's something we got to look at when we decide to set a boundary and when we're trying to enforce it.
Right. Why are you so resistant to me setting a boundary? And then at that point, you got to start examining friendships, examining relationships. Is this a healthy situation? And I think we are so afraid to be alone that we won't set a boundary because we don't want this person to go away. And I just had to learn over the years, sometimes when someone goes away because you set a boundary, it makes room for the person who's supposed to be that close to you. That close, because some people can't be that close.
Yeah, and they'll respect you for who you are and the boundary and your space and boundary that you're setting.
I love it. Guys, we have had the most amazing conversation. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. We have laughed. Oh goodness. I want you guys to definitely think about that. Think about setting boundaries. Because setting boundaries is a form of self-care, self-love. So I want you to think about that. And I'm going to set a challenge. December. I'm gonna one day.
One day. Call her out. One day.
I'm gonna tell you about it. I'm gonna tell you about one after the day. I'm not even gonna plug in and tell you about the day when it's happening. It'll be after the day. But before we go, December 7th, Dylan's Dive Bar will be live. We are doing a Christmas special. It's called a Dive Bar Christmas. So it's gonna be like that today. We're gonna have live performances, and then all of those performances are gonna sit down with me and we're gonna interview them. We are gonna make drinks on stage with members of the audience. So I can't wait. You can go to the bio on our IG page and get your ticket now. We're gonna be at the Limelight Theater downtown. We're gonna have food, we're gonna have drinks. LV Magical Affairs is going to be giving us our eats. So we're gonna have eats, and we're gonna have holiday themed drinks. I want you guys to be in the building. Yes, for the first live podcast.
All right.
Yes. I'm excited. I can't wait. And I love Christmas. That's like my favorite season. I love it. I have so many amazing Christmas memories. We're going to talk about Christmas movies. We're going to talk about Christmas songs. Like that song you hear, you're like, it's Christmas because they just played it on the radio. So what is that song for you? We're going to talk about all of that stuff. So December 7th, join us. Do a Dive Bar Christmas. So thank you so much for being on the show tonight.
Thank you for having me. Like, I really enjoyed this, and talking to you in this setting, it's really helping me speak about what I'm doing, what I'm trying to do, the space and everything, and who Stephanie is. So I appreciate you for having me.
It is my pleasure. We're definitely gonna have to do it again. Absolutely. Guys, look her up. The Self-Care Focus. Have events here. Come to the events that she's having.
Come to the event, December 3rd, the Grow and Glow Gathering. Be a part of the Girl Focus on You community.
Yes.
Love to have you.
I love it. And don't forget to focus on yourself. Be your own priority. There's nothing wrong with that, guys. So our Strive to Thrive exercise is creating your joy jar. What are the things that make you happy? So that way on those days where you're not feeling as joyful, we can go do one of those things. Yep. Pick ourselves up. I love that. So remember, guys, you are designed to thrive. Stick to the plan. Thanks for watching Dylan's Dive Bar. We'll see you guys here in 2 weeks because we're going to be off next week for Thanksgiving. Spend that time with your loved ones, and I'll see you in 2 weeks, guys. Good night.
Bye.